We are moving towards a neutral society where no men and women are equal.
Previously, the generations prior to us, I would say, like our mom and dad or our grandparents, they also had a lot of issues with each other. They had big quarrels, big fights, but they had that patience to sit and talk about it. But for right now, the people are not that ready, to put their patience or their time into all that things. They say that we just want peace.
Culture, Indian culture, marriage is very sacrosanct.
Yeah. In a marriage, there's a lot of women gives, there's a lot which men gives. Women can give much in the emotional terms with who are not working, and the men give in a financial term.
Men is also facing the issues, but men have no law, proper law to reach out.
But they have their right to defend their sense in the court.
But there are no direct laws
See,
as women.
If a person is filing a divorce, a male can file a divorce on the basis of cruelty, adultery, desertion. There are many grounds. There are cases where even girls say that we don't want anything,
Okay.
but we just want to get divorced.
Hey world, what's up? I am Vyom Lakshmi Raya, the captain of Goat Club 80. It is my first conversation, and I promise you it will be worth your time. Watch till end of the show, and if you find value in it, please like, share, and subscribe. We have a special guest and who is our first club member, that is Advocate Jia Kapoor. She practices in Delhi High Court. She had an LLM Masters from Queen Mary University of London. Out of her 7 years of experiences, she specialized in IPR and matrimonial issues. Let's straightly dive into the conversation. Jia ma'am, my opening statement is that marriage is a universal concept. From tribal societies to the advanced civilization, we had marriage. Main important reason to get married in that circumstances is that first thing is progeny, second thing is to regulate sexual behavior between men and women, and third to preserve and protect the property, power, and hierarchy. And mainly, marriage became the foundational value for family institution. So, in that, what do you mean should be the main motive to get married in this modern era?
I will say just not one motive in the modern era or previously as well. It is not about the era, it is about the concept why marriage is there. So, marriage is about a lot of things. It is about companionship, it is about the growth together and building a new family for your own self, getting your culture and your partner's culture into life, and then combining it together and making a new generation or the family for your own goal, I would say, in a lot of aspects. Because see, family is quite an important part in all our lives, I would say. So marriage is a basic stone or a stepping stone for it. You set your full life upon it. I wouldn't say marriage is the only important thing in your life, but it is one of the important parts of your life.
Okay.
So I think there should not be one motive to get married. The only intention behind to get married should be to give or to have a good companion. Because I think so life is all about having good people around you who can, add on to your things, who can cover your lackings, or you can push you for more growth in life. So I think companions are for that.
Okay, how to choose a companion? Because give me some reasons how to choose he or she, their life partner.
Well, this is a tough one because, see, there's no rule book, to choose a companion, be it a man or female, whosoever one's prefers. I think so. The companion should be the one which you feel that, whatever you want to do in your life is going to be supportive towards it, towards your family, towards you. And I think so the respect part is the most important aspect for me in a relationship, I would say, from my opinion. And I don't think so there's a rule book, or even I can tell you, these are the points you have to follow.
No, out of your career, what did you learn? Like these should be the rules that everybody should imbibe themselves?
Well, see,
It's out of your experience, I'm asking.
yeah, if I talk about the practice which I'm doing, the legal practice I'm doing, with that aspect, I'm facing and seeing a lot of divorce cases in today's time, and there's an increase in number of that. What I'm able to judge from the people which are coming to me for their divorces are that there's a lack of compassion and the patience in today's relationships. Because previously, the generations prior to us, I would say, like our mom and dad or our grandparents, they also had a lot of issues with each other. They had big quarrels, big fights, different of opinions, everything exists. But they had that patience to, to sit and talk about it, or maybe to embrace it for their own good and their family's good.
All right.
But for right now, the people are not that ready, to put their patience or their time into all that things. They say that we just want peace. But
Okay.
peace does not come with that. You need to build your peace.
Yes.
And I think so communication is the key part, which is missing in today's relationships. That's why they're leading towards divorce.
Means they need to be open to each other?
Yeah, open in quite a lot of aspects. I would say open, and then they should have the ears to listen to others' perspective as well. Because see, you cannot only keep your perspective and have that I only accepting yours. So you need to listen some, and you need to understand, and you have to tell your thing also. So there's going to be a part and parcel of it.
So adjustable.
Yeah,
They need to be
adjustment.
adjusting.
Yeah. So the word they're using, that we are compromising. So the word is not compromising, it is adjusting.
Oh, well, it's not compromising.
Yeah, it's adjusting. Because see, compromising comes in a very negative way.
Hmm.
You tend to perceive it in a very negative way that, you're not compromising your things. Maybe you're not able to do your things as you're particular wanting it. So it is not that. I say it's modification and adjusting. Modifying your life according to your both needs, yours and your partner's as well. And it goes two-way around. The partners also need to understand it. And adjustment, yes, because obviously your life is going to be changing. You're going to be living with somebody else. So there are going to be things you need to do according to them. And you need to tell them that this is, okay for me. I also need you to support me in this.
Yes.
So the word is adjustment for me.
Okay, it's not compromising, it's adjustment.
Yeah. So see, it's a the way of perceiving it.
Yes.
So if you're going into a new relationship, you are starting a new journey in your life. So why not just choose your words and your intentions wisely to get a positive impact out of it, not
Okay.
negative impact.
And do you feel any recent impact on impact of social media and celebrities' influences on the society? Their divorces
Yeah.
or their rumors?
See, now at the same time, they're also humans.
Mm.
So we need to cut them a slack.
Mm.
There can be issues in their lives. And it is sad that they are public figures, so their life is totally out loud at public. But they also need privacy to it. And there can be divorces in their lives as well. There can be issues. There can be things which a normal person also does not want to discuss. So obviously they will be also not willing to discuss it with people. And I think that privacy should be given to them. And about the social media having an impact in today's life, yes, it has a negative and positive impact. Negative, I would say that people are seeing other people's life, getting impressed with it, and then comparing yours life with the others. So that is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Because every person have the ups and downs, their good share of it in their lives. And obviously nobody will share their negative or the bad side on the social media. That is the, the sad part. The most of the fake things are being coming out in social media. There are people who are actually, encouraging or basically telling the truth or the true self of theirs. But there are people who are just, showing or giving an emphasis on what, the life is all about, the bed of roses. It is not that. There are ups and downs. There are situations which everybody has to face. So, yeah, I think you should not compare yourself with others. Yes, do get your motivation from it. That's a very good
Positive.
part. Yeah. Get a positive impact out of it. So now it is about, the half glass empty and half glass full. It is about
Yes.
everybody's views and perspective. Somebody takes the positive impact of the social media and somebody takes the negative impact out of it. So I think it is about you. It's time about you to change because social media, it will stay it is. And though social media is doing good as well on people's lives.
Yes.
You cannot say it is totally bad or it only has a bad
It
impact.
had two faces.
Yeah, everything has a pros and cons. Everything comes with their bad shares and good shares. So I think it's about you, what you want to take it from.
Okay. So that means audience should choose wisely their content.
Yes, you should choose your content wisely. And I think so everybody is adult who's using that social media. And they are aware about, what you actually have to get influenced from or not. So there's a very thin line which get blurs at times that, the people are not able to actually see that whether it is actually good for me, whether I should be really thinking about this, whether I should be implementing it in my life or not. Because there are a lot of good things with social media, the people out there, the platform are teaching you. So now it's your choice whether you want to go to the good content or you want to, have a bad influence of it. So it depends from person to person. I cannot blame only social media or the internet for today. I know there's a lot of things going on internet and social media which needs to be curbed down to a level.
Okay.
Yes, I do agree that. But again, you also need to have a control over your content consumption.
Self-control is very
Yes,
important.
content consumption should be there. I mean, there should be a check on yourself.
Recently, I felt really sad by seeing two deaths. One is Sir late Atul Subhash, and one is in Delhi Puneet Khurana case. So, do you please comment on that? What is your opinion?
See, about the two cases, they're coming out to be the cases where they have been harassed or they have been pressurized by their in-laws or their partners for the amount of settlement which you get in a divorce or whatever it's mutually agreed by the parties. So because of that, they were were forced to take the step. I wouldn't say that it is a true fact or not. I am not aware of it because the investigation is still going on.
Okay.
But what as of now has come out on the surface is that. But still, again, every case has two sides of it. Like a coin has two sides of it. So without, I would say, the full facts of the story or the case, I am no one to judge them. But
Okay.
yes, there are a lot of aspects which has come around for a debate or, to be questioned after these cases. Because in today's time, media is quite strong and media is quite active so that you're able to get these cases out aloud in the public. But previously also there have been a lot of cases where women have been the victim of it. So at both sides.
Okay.
I don't say that only women have been the victim of it. But yes, in today's time, men are also getting victimized through these acts by the misuse of law, I would say. The people are trying to do these days. But I think the judiciary is playing their role to balance it out, I would say.
But Domestic Violence Act does not recognize men in India. It favors only women. So,
Yeah, so now that act was made or enforced by keeping in view the statistics which were prevailing in our society.
okay.
So the patriarchal society form which we follow, I would say, that actually forced or the cases which were happening in the society or around us, and the women did not have any protection with regard to all those cases which were happening with them.
Okay.
They did not have a voice to basically bring it out in the society. So that laws were the basis of that woman liberation, I would say, or woman protection in a more sense. Liberation, nobody has protection. Because if you see in the past, our relatives or people around us, there have been cases where the domestic violence was quite normalized by the people. They would say that, if
Is it in the 18th century and in the 19th century?
Yeah, you can say it still exists in certain section of society. You cannot say it has been abolished completely.
Hmm.
No, it hasn't. See, one part there is where it has been misused, and there still exists a part which actually meet these laws.
Okay.
There are women who really are in the need of it, who are being actually a victim of you can say domestic violence or the violence on the demand of the dowry.
Hmm.
If they haven't got proper gifts or cash from their family,
Okay.
whatever the boy side has demanded. So they had been tortured with regard to it. And there is certain section that still does it.
In the current scenario also?
Yeah, in
There
the
are-
current scenario, there are a lot of cases too.
Okay.
See,
Where woman is a victim.
yes, I have dealt with those cases as well. So
Now,
There-
may I know the percentage? Rough percentage.
where you say now it is about 50-50.
50-50.
What I think about it, maybe I can be wrong on that.
Okay.
But for me, what I have dealt with, there are cases where 50% of the times women are actually being victimized
Okay.
and they really need justice for that. See, there are parties where both parties are quite wealthy.
Okay.
If you're getting married and doing a big bang wedding, big fat Indian weddings as you put it. So both the parties are quite wealthy, well off. They both have good money.
Okay.
But then ego fights come in between. And then they say that if we have put this much of money, we want it back.
Hmm.
But you need to understand when you were getting your boy or your girl married, you did not think of this perspective.
Okay.
And it was your choice, to put that money into the marriage.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say that you should not get that money back. Whatever the girl side, like the boy side demanded, you're given lots of gifts and everything. Obviously, you should get all those things back. Stridhan, basically what the girl takes with her or whatever is gifted to her during that wedding ceremony. So that is Stridhan.
Okay.
So definitely she has a right to it. She should get it back, whether there is a quarrel, rating that she's being a victim or she's not being a victim. Despite of it, certain rights are there where certain things have to be done in a right way. So I would say that now, in our time, there are cases where even girls say that we don't want anything,
Okay.
but we just want to get divorced.
Oh.
I have those cases as well.
So women are there are certain people who are not expecting alimony.
No.
Okay.
Despite giving a lot to the boy side.
Okay.
They only say that I just want my things to be returned back to me. Nothing more than that. And else they can keep it to yourself. And I just want peace in my life, just to part my ways from that relationship. So I think we cannot comment upon that whether the society is actually, girls section of the society, I would say, is actually misusing it or using it in a right way.
Okay.
It is again an individual choice who is using it as a tool to extort money. And at the same time, there are girls who are actually choosing it for their own justice. Because there have been cases, and still there are cases where the girl is being victimized from the educated families I'm talking about.
Okay.
Not even the man, I would say.
Higher realm.
Yeah, exactly. So those people, they keep it that it should not go out of the family, our reputation could be harmed. So then you should not do such things.
But by seeing higher families, like higher, richer families, the other people are also mocking that, and now alimony become a business to women, I guess. What do you comment on that? Because, see, if she brought some dowry, in North India we call Sridhan, and it alter with the names, states it alter with the names. So it can be taken back. But she is expecting more than what he earns, because that was the reason Atul, he attempted suicide and he was dead. So men are also facing emotional trauma. So what do you feel on this? Because women are becoming very greedy in this sense, I guess, and they are expecting more than what their husband earns. They can ask the return of marriage expenses and whatever they had, because at the end of the day, it is money to everybody, man or woman.
Yeah, it's
But recently we have seen one court judgment also in which a woman demands crores and judge becomes serious on her. What are you expecting? You're expecting crores for your alimony. So this was hot topic. So what do you say? Justice should be done in the case of alimony.
Exactly. And even courts are doing their part. The judicial machinery out there, the judicial authorities out there, the judicial bodies are doing their part.
Okay.
as a matter of fact, I would say that when a case comes to a court, for example, a maintenance case comes to the court, which is filed under 125 CRPC, that a woman is claiming a maintenance, a monthly maintenance or a lump sum amount from a husband in order to maintain herself.
Okay.
That now she's no one be living with you. So she wants a maintenance that her all monthly expenses or needs are being met. So now there are cases where the women are not working.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
And they have actually been victimized by their traumas and the mental abuse and the physical abuse. And there are evidences to it. So it is the role of a lawyer, first of all, to portray it in the right way to the court. And if in case the lawyers are not able to do justice to it, or they are trying to, give false evidence, or they're trying to defend the wrong side of it, then judges are there to see to it. Because see, for us, it can be a 1 or a 2 case
Okay.
on a day basis, but the judge sitting out there, the family court judges, they are much more experienced in many ways.
Mm.
They're aware of it, that who is a right or a wrong party over out there. The main motive of judges these days, I would say, or the judiciaries are that, see, these divorce cases are ego fights at the end of the day.
Okay.
These are all ego fights. You tend to, take out your vengeance through these cases. That I'll put this, I'll file this case against you. You'll be harassed to this extent. The husband says, and I'll go and do this, to harm your reputation out in the public. There are many ways to,
If in that case, I would like to add something. So, according to our culture, Indian culture, marriage is very sacrosanct.
Yeah.
When we are talking about vengeance or revenge, that means we lost the original concept in marriage.
Exactly. The basis of it has been destroyed. So now, Supreme Court quoted in a lot of judgments and a lot of cases when it comes to the divorce cases or the maintenance. They always say that for us, marriage is something which is a very pure institution.
Okay. Mm.
And we do not want to do any injustice to that institution so that the society does not believe to it anymore. There is a belief structure which still exists, especially in our cultures, that marriage is very important and is a very sacred union.
Yes.
And even the courts feel the same way. That's why discourage people getting into all these fights. They always say, see, in a marriage, there's a lot of women gives, there's a lot which men gives. Women can give much in the emotional terms with who are not working, and the men give in a financial terms.
Okay.
Right? And see, those housewives are actually those 24/7, 365 days job without a holiday.
Yes.
Obviously, they deserve every
We should
bit of
recognize
it.
that as also
Exactly.
and respect that.
So they deserve every bit of it. So when they're asking for maintenance in the court or they're asking for their right, so yes, they do have it because they have supported their husband in every way to reach a certain level.
Yes, that's
right. At the same part, if the woman is not, working with the husband or even the husband is not working towards the same goal to, take their family forward or towards the growth of it. So it is going to be a havoc. That is not a relationship.
So that should be justifiable. Alimony should be justifiable.
See, courts are giving actually a justifiable because what Supreme Court says is that a woman should be given a maintenance what a man is having the living standard of.
Okay.
For example, a man is having a Mercedes. He's living in a bungalow, having a crores of or a lakhs of salaries per month, good bank balance. But at the same time, the woman is not working. So obviously, her needs need to be catered and taken care of because now her family is not the one who's obligated to do so. You are the one because you got her in your household, your family, and promised to take care of her in every way. And even she did the same. So if she's doing her part, then you also have to do your bit. But now, sadly, there are situations where the girl are not even ready to do their part, but are demanding more than that.
More than that.
There is that
mental stress also from entire family.
Yes.
That was the case now with Atul and Puneet Khurana also. That was the case mainly. I would like to ask you, what rights men do have when they are going through this divorce case? On running case of that, what rights do men have? He can approach his son.
Yeah, definitely.
He can meet his son wherever he wants.
Yes. You see, if your wife has taken away your son or your daughter, so you have rights to file for a custody. And till the time the permanent custody is being decided, you get visitation rights from the court.
Okay.
And the court grants you the right that on these and these days, under these circumstances or these timings, you can meet your son or your daughter and you can take them with you, spend holidays with them. You are totally given that right because father and mother are both the natural guardians
Okay.
of the child. So they both have equal rights in it. So at times what happens is that under certain circumstances where a particular parent, say a mother or a father, is not a good influence for the children. So in that circumstances, the court can deny because the welfare of the children is of utmost priority
Okay.
to the court. And specifically the apex court, the Supreme Court always say that the one thing which should be taken care of while deciding the child's custody is the welfare of the child.
Okay.
Whether it lies with the father, whether it lies with the mother, or with both. See, in many cases, both the parents are very loving and caring towards their children. And because of these divorces or separation, they do not want to get separated from their children.
Okay.
And they do not want them to be deprived of either of their love and their care.
That's true.
So that's why in those cases, courts always give shared custody.
Okay.
Or they say that the children will be living with the mother and the father can visit and have his own share of, taking the children with him. But with the permission of the other parent.
Okay.
That is obvious because now you're living separately if you want to go out of India. So the other parent should be aware of it. And the permission should be there. So now that is again a mutual understanding. For every bit thing of it, you cannot run to a court. So I think the people at first should understand that if you have children,
Okay.
so they're gonna be very tormented with the fact that their parents are going to be separated. If they're up the age where they can understand all these things. So this is quite an impressionable age for the children.
Yes.
And which can affect them in several ways.
The psychological factors also play.
Everything you should think that just for your children's sake, you should at least take a seat, take a minute, relax, think about it before taking any action.
Okay.
See, if you want to part your ways, you can do it very easily, quite
Mutual consent.
yeah, mutually and very respectfully, I would say.
Cordially.
Having a cordial relationship, having a respectful relationship. See, there can be moments where, yes, you realize that, this is not the right partner for me. I cannot further take my life or my relationship. So I think so part your ways. And whenever a client comes to me for a divorce, I always try out to settle it out amicably.
Okay.
Because my intention always is that why to get into this ruckus? Right? See, as a lawyer, it will be
You
beneficial
counsel
for
them
me.
initially?
Yeah, see, lawyers, you can say are a bit of a counselor as well, will become marriage counselors as well, or divorce counselors, because it's a part and parcel of a role of being an advocate. So, see, it is beneficial for us. As many cases you will file, beneficial for us. We'll be earning good from you.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we have certain code or an ethical responsibility towards the society that if you are taking something, you have to give back to the society as well. So what good you can do as a lawyer, which I think, is to, make them understand that this is not an ego fight at first. If you want to take out your vengeance, you want to take out your anger on each
So
other.
when you ask the reason for parting away initially,
Obviously.
and you counsel them to take your time and decide yourselves
Yes,
again,
that
come
whether
back
you
to
want
me.
to part ways
Or
not.
in the initial way, okay, fine, we'll suit your divorces, we'll go. Is
See,
that the way or
Depends. It
other
totally
way?
depends. Every case has different scenario, different circumstances, different situations. So at times, there are couples which are married for 12 years and they come up for a divorce.
Okay.
So you cannot tell them to now sit and think back.
So there is no guarantee.
Yeah.
12 years, 20
No,
years, 25 years.
Exactly. There is no guarantee to it. Because nowadays people are becoming more of a workaholic. They just want to work. And they want to earn more money. They're in a rat race, basically. Then, you're not just left behind.
Okay.
I want this car, I want this house. At the end of the day, your relationship also needs work.
Because they are not giving the proper space to their marriage.
No. Space, I would say the time which is
Okay.
required. Because again, I said communication is the key to everything. Even in cases we need to communicate it to the judge. We need to
Yes.
communicate to the judiciary that what has happened, what are the evidences to it, how we are supporting it. So that needs to be communicated.
Yes.
So communication, I think, is a key role in every relationship, be it a husband or wife, mother, daughter, father, and anyone. So it needs to be communicated. So what I think is that in earlier days when the women were not working, they were housewives. So I think so the house was much better, well managed. Obviously, because see, there are certain things which women, the part of a woman can be played by her only, and the part of the husband can be played by him only.
There it was segregated parts.
Yeah, so this is your duty, this is my duty. But now what has happened is that when the women have also started working, so the house where the role has to be played, now it also has to be equal.
Okay.
Then
So men also should take equal
responsibility,
duty,
yes.
responsibilities.
Because see, in today's time, there are certain householders which expect their daughter-in-laws that even after coming from office, she has to do the work. But are you expecting that thing from your son?
No.
You're not. So that is patriarchy again. So that is, I think, so imbibed in our society, which needs to be taken care of. Thankfully, slowly and steadily, our generation is, learning about it, thinking about it. I have a lot of people around me who are doing that. They are both working and then at the same time taking equal part in the household things as well. Because you need to understand, if you are getting tired, you are getting exhausted from your work, the same goes for the girl as well.
Yes.
She's also doing her part. And if she's contributing financially in the household, then you also need to contribute with your
Equal
role part, towards the household duties.
Yes.
It is not her duty only. It is yours as well. So I think in today's time, I think so. What I think for my generation should learn is when you want to be having children, you should make either of them understand and make them learn about each and every household duty, be it a boy or a girl.
There is nothing wrong in working
Yeah.
husband. There are home husbands. No,
Yes.
there is the trend going on.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't want to work, he want to be home, like home wife, home husband.
Exactly.
So, and we should remove that stereotypes also, like
Yeah.
men being at home and men doing house chores. It's
Sure.
nothing wrong, right? Cooking, serving.
Why? Why is it wrong?
Yeah.
If a woman is doing it, it is not taken it as being wrong. If woman is working, it is also not taken wrong. Then why it is taken wrong that if a husband is doing house chores, it is nothing wrong about it. And
No,
each to their own.
society points. At the end of the day, it is all about society. Again, it points like
See,
you.
society.
So your wife is leading you.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are a wife husband.
So that
So you're not the head of the family.
no, they don't.
These stereotypes and everything.
See, again, that is what I'm saying. Society is the thing.
Society comprises of your colleagues, family,
Everybody,
friends,
everybody
and
around
everybody around you.
Yeah. Even if they are not even that close to you, they'll poke it into you.
They'll poke.
Because people are, I think so, nowadays more interested in your life rather than their own. And that is why they're leading towards this, I would say. The key to the disastrous relationship is the one not, getting, paying attention to yours rather than poking nose in other body's house or thinking that what is happening out there in the society. So that's when I'm saying social media, you are saying that other people are happy, they're doing that, they're with this. But are you making efforts to do something in your relationship? You're not. And then you say that I want the same happy life which is being portrayed on that Instagram handle. That is not it. Everybody do their part and parcel and then achieve that thing for themselves.
That's true.
And I would say that society, the word itself, it is quite scary. Because whatever say the society says it. Who is a society? You are also a part of it.
Yes.
So then start the change from yourself while you're waiting for the other people in the society to do that. And see, each relationship have their own, terms, their own way of adjusting with each other, leading their life in each other. You are no one to comment upon
And
it.
not all the family scenarios are same.
Yeah, they're
It
not.
might differ from one person to one.
Yeah.
We can't compare with some others also.
Yes,
We need to leave this comparison thought, I guess.
that
Many
the
families.
comparison is
Yes.
worst.
Because they are not of equal economic status. There are many issues play part in that. If you compare with other person,
yes.
it always varies. And we should not compare.
Yeah, even if the economic status we don't even take into consideration, once ideology, individualism, Every person has different thought process.
That's true.
Every person has different way of living a life. So you cannot compare your life with the others. Cannot compare your partner with the other partner. See, you cannot have the best of everything in the world. So you also need to peep yourself into the mirror when you're standing. That are you giving your best, or are you perfect? There's no such thing in perfection
Perfect.
exists in the world.
No,
There's nothing.
absolute term.
Yeah. So this is overrated. Perfection.
Perfection is overrated. Yes. When we spoke about alimony, right? What if women also earning? In that scenario, how does that happens? Alimony.
Okay, so the court always take into position that if a woman is working, then there's no need for her to take the alimony.
Okay.
If she's earning a good amount for herself, and even husband is earning that good status, but if in case the husband is much way above her, then yes, they always have an ideology, as I told, that they should have equal living standards. But at times, the judiciary also, discourages about the alimony part where the woman is working. Or as a matter of fact, if the woman is not working and having a good degrees, good education background to herself, they're always of the opinion, then why are you not working? Why are you asking that money from your husband? Because now you are saying that I cannot live with this man, I cannot be dependable on him, then be independent in every aspect of it. Okay, so you need to understand the independence is not only about, taking your decisions, spending your money. It is about being independent in every aspect. And when partnerships come into the role, where your partner and you are living together, then obviously you take your decisions together, you spend your money together. The money you are earning or he's earning, it is for both of you,
Okay.
right? So in alimony, I say, yes, there are certain cases where the women are not working. Yes, they should get it, because obviously who will cater their needs? Because now the parents are also old. If
That means needy should get the.
yeah, see, the laws are there for the people who actually need a protection or are actually in the need of it. So the perception which is going around that there are women bias laws, yes, I agree that there are a lot of rights which are given to the woman in today's time because they were in a need of it. We need to understand that there was a lot of violence, there was a lot of curb which were put on the women's right.
Past.
Yeah. So now they're getting those rights. Somebody are misusing it,
Yes.
and somebody are using it to a good use.
What laws are misused often and more?
See, there are a lot of cases when a matrimonial dispute arises. The first and the foremost a person does, from a woman's side, I would say, is that they go and file a CAW complaint, woman's side complaint.
Okay.
Okay? So that is a complaint where a mental abuse or a physical abuse has happened to you.
Okay.
So you go and report it. And the police also tries to mediate it. They do not straight away go for the FIR.
Okay.
So this cell was basically built for the reason that before reaching the court, you can mediate your issues and you can, try to sort it out. And even you want to get it settled through money or through your resources, what exchange has to happen between you two. So what happens is the CW filed a complaint. The police station will look into it. They will appoint you a counselor.
Okay.
Both the parties are being called. They are being counseled. Then a mediator is also hired, which is a lawyer by the court, whatever jurisdiction it lies in. So the court is appointing a mediator to you. He or she will sit across with both the parties. Will ask, what is the issue?
Okay.
Why you don't want to live? Or if certain grievous hurt has been done to the woman, then obviously they'll be taken care of. Because in that case, there is no going back. Because there's a threat to her life.
Yes.
So there can no be settlement. So either she can choose to take the money and, protect or safeguard her future and exit. Or then there's a second way round. You can go for the FIR. Because in that case, obviously the police will...
So directly FIR.
No, if the settlement does not happen...
Second scenario.
Yeah, then the FIR happens. Taken into consideration that how, the grievous things are. So FIR running...
Intensity of the issues.
Yes. So now if I just go about and say that I just had a quarrel with my in-laws and my husband and I'm not happy in that household. So what exactly? Just a mental abuse is happening? Okay. But at the same time, maybe you are also doing that. So the FIR is always done in the scenario where there is a lot of victimization on a woman. It is not that the FIR is done just on a brink of an hour. It's not that. It is not that. There's a whole procedure to it. So I say that the law has, taken care of the rights of the men as well. I would not say that they have given the exact sections or the acts to it. Yes, I would say. But at the same time, the law has given you the advantage of mediation
Okay.
to sit across the table and settle out the issues. That has been given because the law does not say that, if the woman has said that this has happened with me, we'll take cognizance of it. No, it is not like that. Women also need to prove it.
Okay, she need to prove it. But immediately they will take person to remand, which shows to the society that he is accused of.
No.
14 days remand period.
No.
No?
So now it depends from case to case. If a person has done a harmful act to the wife where she
Okay.
is in a state, it is about an attempt to murder, you can say, or the in-laws were a part of it. They tried to, kill her
Okay.
or try to harm her to the extent where she could have died. In that scenario, yes, they have the full right to take the person in remand because that is something which is not only relating to the matrimonial dispute.
With FIR also, with simple FIR,
Yeah, definitely.
they take the person in custody, right? For
No. For the for the dowry demand, for example, 498A. That is the most
misused one.
misuse section, you can say, or the use section in the matrimonial disputes, which everybody comes up.
No, one doubt I had. When we speak about 498A, it was Dowry Act. Will court don't ask that question that you gave dowry yourself? That was against to Indian laws. And again, you're facing the issue of extra dowry. So, is it feasible to ask that question to the woman? Because in the initial period, they give dowry themselves to the man, to the groom. And again, they are fighting with greediness of the groom side. So, will court question that initially, why did you give the dowry?
Obviously, court does that.
Okay.
But the point is that again, there are certain ways of taking dowry in our society, you can say. There's certain function. They would say that you have to, give this much to the boy or give this to the family. Or there is a certain way of conveying it to the family through one or the other relatives that you'll be giving this thing to them. Are you fool? You're not giving. You should give it. So there's way. People are becoming very smart about it as well. So I would say that they are directly giving it to her. But yes, in our society, it's a very saddening fact that without that, the marriage does not take place. Because there is a problem in the whole society at large, I would say. So now there are people, there are practices, they are saying that we do not want to take anything from the girl's side.
Okay.
You don't give us anything, we will not give you anything. Whatever we want to give, we'll give it to the girl or we'll give it to the boy.
way.
Yeah. It's their marriage, we should gift it to them.
Yes.
Not to anybody else, not the mom, dad, or their sister or brother. Which I agree.
And marriage expenses also divided equally.
Yeah. It should
That's a good idea, right?
Why it should not be? Why it should be only a duty of one family? Why? It is their hard-earned money also. If you have read I read it the other day on one of the newspaper article that we are spending, what percentage of our salary or our income on a marriage?
Okay.
Just in 3 days function or 2-day function.
Lavish. What
Yeah, if you take into consideration a middle class salary, so then I think so the 40% of his entire income.
Yes. The startup.
Yeah, you are spending it that much in your wedding. Okay, you have it, you spend it, each to their own. There's no problem about it. But then at the same time, if you can see the boy side is quite demanding of it, then you should just call it off. What are you waiting for to get it more worse? But at times, boys' families are not able to understand that. But see, now there are certain friends of mine and my relatives who have changed this practice now altogether.
Okay.
Now they are the people who understand that we are bringing someone's daughter in our house. We need to give that comfort. We need to give that space and that love and care to her. So I mean, I think so. There is a very small section of society which is adapting to this fact. A creamy layer, I would say, are being formed for that. But there is a section at large which is totally unaware, or this concept is totally alien to them,
Okay.
of treating your daughter-in-law as well. It is still there, I feel.
Is it
Yes.
in the rural areas?
No, the urban areas as well. There are both practices. That's what I'm saying. There are certain sections of the society I've seen which is adapting to the good, practices now. But there still exist large ones who says that, we do not want anything. We do not interfere in their life. But they are the same person who are creating ruckus in their lives.
Okay.
So I think you yourself first need to change and then teach lessons to the people at large and tell them about to do this or do not. I don't think so. You should be practicing it, and the people, I think so, will start following it.
See, being an independent woman, working woman, how she should respect her husband, because there are cases we are seeing that people they abuse husbands a lot. We are moving towards a neutral society where no men and women are equal.
Whatever wrongdoing is done by a person, be it a male or a female, it is wrong.
It is wrong in the eyes of
Even
justice.
as a court of law, the court will not see the gender of the criminal. It will just see to the fact of whether that crime has been committed by that person or not.
But many laws are favoring women.
It is not favoring actually. See, that is again a very misperception in today's society.
Okay.
It is not favoring. Basically they're giving rights to the woman. Favoring would have been the case where it is straight away giving the right to the woman without even listening to the men's side.
I'm telling you, in this scenario, now men is also facing the issues, but men have no right, proper law to reach out.
But they have their right to defend themselves in the court. Right? The court is given equal opportunity to both.
They had defending right, but there are no direct laws as women.
If a person is filing a divorce, a male can file a divorce on the basis of cruelty, adultery, desertion. There are many grounds.
Is it men files a divorce? It is that if it is misconception, I think so. If men files a divorce, is it he have to serve the woman his half salary?
No. There's nothing like that.
From men's side, if it approaches.
No. Nothing.
Or he use alimony?
See, again, this is all a misperception. Is
it not so like that?
No. You have to file for it.
Because most of the people fight for years together, their divorce.
No.
It was like 8 years, 9 years, 10 years.
Contested divorces. And even after that, when you get the decree, one of them will go and appeal for it. So,
can they marry meanwhile this 8 years, 9 years, any of the spouse? No.
Till the time you are divorced, you get the proper divorce decree that declares that you're no longer a husband or wife and you have been separated. Legally you're divorced. Only after that they can marry. If they get married, that will be an illegal or a void marriage, which does not have any existence in the eyes of law. And it will be a bygone.
So what laws men have to approach the court or to approach the lawyer? Do men have any laws or regulations? Sections?
For example, if a person does not want to get divorced to their wife, and the wife exits from their society, saying that I don't want to live with them anymore, and the husband still is willing to live with her, then they can go and file for the restitution of conjugal rights, stating that I am willing to bring her back in my society and don't want to give divorce to her. So in that aspect, the court will see that whether which side or the society is correct or not. And if the decree is being passed saying that the wife is at fault, that she doesn't want to come to the husband or she doesn't want to live with him, and she's the one who took exit from his society without even, telling him the reasons or the circumstances to it. So in that case, whatever the husband will get is that will be a ground for a divorce. That's it. Nothing else.
If she says no.
Yeah. See, now again, we cannot say there is a proper quoted laws for men out there as if we have for women, like against domestic violence. Because see, again, our society works in a manner or has been working in a manner where the woman has been a victim at large. What now court has started doing is that in order to, equalize between both the men and the women, is that whenever a certain complaint comes to the court, let's just say we're asking a maintenance for crores or lakhs of rupees, the court will not give it to you.
Okay.
They will see that what serves you right and what serves him right.
Yes.
So
They'll see all the
judiciary-
proper
Yeah, the judiciary is doing their part
process.
now. See, now for 498A, it was a very common practice where the daughter-in-law will go and file a complaint against all the in-laws and even the husband, stating, I will send you all to the jail, whatever bad you have done to me. Initially, yes, 498A was quite of a dangerous section for the men and the family because there were the wrong which was happening with the woman.
Okay.
And that, that was need of an hour at that time when this,
At that time.
yes, when these laws were brought into picture. So there were a lot of dowry deaths because of it. And they were not even recognized.
Okay.
They were not even told about it because the daughters were supposed to stay quiet. They didn't have the audacity to even tell their parents that these are happening with me in my in-laws' place. And they
Yes.
just died one day. Their daughter is gone.
But scenario is changing.
Yeah, it is changing, but still again, there's a part of it where women are still victimized.
Men also.
Yeah. See, now I would say there is a ratio which are misusing it. I said that earlier as well. And there's a ratio where it is actually needed for them.
One more thing. If for instance, let's take that a husband is facing mental abuse from wife and he was like introvert or whatever it is. He had societal pressure not to share with anybody. Whom he can approach, how he can solve that issue. Because we need outcome. At the end of the day, it is always way forward. It's not.
See, it is about, again, you need to have somebody to talk about this. If you cannot talk to your relatives or your, personal people about it, go to a lawyer then if you're seeking for a legal advice.
Legal advice.
If you're not ready for a legal advice, because you see, it's a taboo for a lot of people to go to a lawyer, that, what will people think, I don't want to get divorced.
Okay.
Or I don't want to even think about it. See, it is now the trend has changed. Now the people directly approaches the lawyer that I need a divorce. Just tell me the way how to get it. There are people at that for as well, but there are still people who would say that I cannot take divorce.
Yes.
It is going to be something which will be not digestible for my society or the people surrounding me, right? So in that aspect, I would say go to a counselor.
Counselor,
Yeah,
legal
seek
advisor.
help. Yeah.
Okay.
If not a legal advisor, you don't want a legal help, you don't want to go to a lawyer, because certain people have that, botheration of even getting that thing in their mind that I cannot even think about a divorce.
Okay.
So
It's not
those are
about
people-
divorce, right? He can take legal advice from.
Yeah, you can always seek a help from a lawyer. Why? In order to safeguard your rights, safeguard your interest. Okay, so be it a man or a woman, it is always.
But he can't file case against his wife.
See, you can always approach the police. Nobody is stopping you to file a police complaint against your in-laws or your wife, right?
But will police take it seriously?
If not, then approach the court for that.
Okay.
You have,
Under which law?
they have to file an application in front of the magistrate. If you want to get your FIR registered, and you have to show that why, under what circumstances the FIR needs to be registered. So the court will take the cognizance if there is a seriousness in a situation where it needs to be done. So the court will take a cognizance and tell the police to get the FIR registered.
Okay.
See, it is not about I totally understand there is a cell for a woman now.
Yes.
Okay, that they can approach to. But the police is there for the men also. If something bad is happening to you, let's
Because
just say,
they don't take it seriously.
See,
many issues.
when women issues are also not taken seriously, because women sell us the idea that now this is a issue which is coming into each and every house and every day.
Okay.
Getting my point? So you need to make them understand, make that serious. If they do not take the cognizance, you have the court for it.
Okay.
You also need to understand the law does not only stops at the police level. The implementation is in the hand of the court. They order it. Even the police will have to do the right by you if the court deems it fit. Now you need to provide the circumstantial evidence, or at times some substantial proof to show that something wrong has been done to you.
Okay.
Let's just say that you're not in a matrimonial dispute. If a certain person has done something wrong to you, you will approach the police, right? And approach for this as well.
Okay. For these as well, also we can approach.
You can always say that.
But we need to have proofs. substantial
the
evidence
girls
is
also need
important.
to have proof.
Yes.
Nowadays, courts are not going to say that you're a woman, you have filed for it, yes, you have the right and you'll get it. No, this is not the approach. So you need to understand if a woman have faced certain things, she has provided evidence for that, then yes, the right should be done by her.
Mm.
The right should be done, the justice should be provided to her.
Yes.
That is the main concept. See, the judiciary never says that the men and women are not equal. No. Laws are given to the woman, yes, because the women were
That
very...
favors women a lot.
Yeah, because they were the weaker part of the society earlier. And even now, there's a very handful of people, handful of women who know how to use their rights actually. Some of them are misusing, some of them are not.
Not.
But there are certain people who are not even aware about this.
But I think this is the era to have neutral perspective laws.
Sure, definitely. Slowly and steadily, there will be changes in it.
They had to.
There will be, because now the Supreme Court also said that for the 498A, it has been the most misused section.
Only 498A?
Yeah, 498A in the matrimonial dispute, I would say. It has been the most misused section. So the court always, Supreme Court gave a very beautiful, I would say, interpretation to it, that now that it has been misused or it is being misused by the people, so it should be taken in a very lenient view now.
Okay.
It should not be taken that 498A is there, so the boy side or the in-laws are bad, or they are trying to do something bad only.
Okay.
So it is taken in a more lenient way now. The arrest is not necessary in that.
Okay.
Initially it was, because this was a non-bailable section for that time. So now the point is that you need to see again the intensity of it. If there is a need of an arrest of a person where only not 498A but the murder or attempt to murder is also a part of it, then yes, there is a seriousness to it and that person needs to be taken into custody.
So, thanks for giving me this opportunity, and
Thank
you'll
you.
be always remembrance to me. And any word for me, ma'am? Because I would like to ask, because you are my first club member, Go Club 80.
Glad to be.
Yeah, and hoping so we'll do other show also in the future.
Looking forward to
Yes, sure.
when
That.
you achieve your good heights of success.
Yes, sure.
I really wish you all the very best for the future endeavors.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I wish you a lot of success. And I really want to see you at good heights.
Yes, you will.
And having good conversations and imparting good knowledge to people out there.
Yes.
And
And with our main motive of making Indian conversation universal
yeah, sure.
through our English conversation.
Definitely.
Yes, we need to do that.
Definitely.
And they need to do their part also.
Yeah.
Because I'm treating subscribers as my friends.
Okay.
So we'll hope so.
Definitely. I think your subscribers and your friends will be supporting you.
Yes.
So I hope to see you soon again.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice talking to you.
Yeah.
And I look forward to more and more conversations.
Thank you. And I'm also very glad to meet you. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you now.
Thank you.